The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTRTV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast. Five Flags Speedway, home of the Snowball Derby, a half-mile track in Pensacola, Florida. Famous, high banks, and narrow, this track holds quite the challenge, but is a very important and pinnacle track in the late model stock tour. Tonight, the eCar Premier Series will take to the high banks here at Five Flags, and we are happy to give you all the calls. Welcome everybody to PTRTV for today's race. Again, race number 4 of the eCar Premier Late Model Stock Series. It's going to be myself, Corey Silva, in the booth and in the production truck, and I have Bradley Dalton here to help me out with the calls. So Bradley, well, we just got to be blunt. Last week was your first race in the league, and it was rough around the edges. So hopefully those edges have been sandpapered here, and we can have a good show here tonight.
Yeah, Corey, good evening, good afternoon to everybody. It's I'm curious to see how the race goes. Of course, you and me have had some conversations through. I'm looking optimistically cautious right now for things going forward. I'm just curious to see how things end up. Yeah, last week was rough. Of course, a driver getting a ban, that was something.
Yeah, so to summarize last week, we did have some expulsions from the series based on some acts on track and manipulations that really just don't have any justice within the series. So there's been some stern talks, both from from many different sources. So we're just going to hope but there are some really good people in the league. So we're going to hope that this is a great series and we can have some fun here tonight. Chris Horton winning last week's race after the seas kind of parted for him to do so. And we do have ourselves quite the grid here today. So we'll see how this does fare. But you can see here on the blimp shot, we do have a little bit of opaqueness, I guess, to these. I guess that's not quite the word. There's fog. I couldn't say that in a fancy way, but as we pull up our weather, I don't know what's going on, Bradley. I don't know if it's a glitch with the weather system, the Tempest iRacing system, or if admin really likes humidity, but we got another foggy show here at Five Flags.
Yeah, I know we're in Florida, but man, this humidity is getting a bit ridiculous. I have to wonder if it's actually that humid or if that isn't like a software glitch with the Tempest software.
Yeah, but that's what I'm thinking too. But look at this here off this turn 2 shot. You can kind of see. Well, I guess you can't see off in the yonderness there. Yonderness is a new word for you.
We'll give that one to you. It's interesting. The Tempest software has been very interesting. I've seen different things about it, but overall, it's been a very, very good addition to iRacing. I'm really enjoying just the variability. Let's add another word. The varying degree of challenge that it gives. Even the wind changes now. And when you add all of that together, it really makes these cars handle different. And look at this. We're still in warm-up. These guys are starting to get side by side. They're feeling things out. I think we're in for a pretty good race just watching this warm-up.
Yeah, we'll see what we got. Again, 26 cars, I want to say, which is a season high. So even after, a couple guys are not carrying over week to week, we still managed to get some new names here, and we'll see how they do fare. And hopefully everything does fare out pretty smoothly. It is a longer race, so 125 laps, so it's actually a little bit longer than Myrtle Beach. Lap times are about 2 or 3 seconds shorter, so probably will even out in the grand scheme of things. Of course, it is double duty night here on PTRTV, so we do have to be done within about a 50-minute time frame. So we will hope that is indeed the case there. But the timer going down to 0 as we follow Travis Suckup on track in that number 45. So as the timer goes down to 0, I want to thank everyone for tuning in here to PTRTV. If it's your first time, don't make it your last. Hit that like and subscribe button. We just eclipsed 1,200 subscribers. Let's set pace on our track for 1,300. So, but let's go down, and Bradley, we'll have you start off our starting lineup here today at Five Flags Speedway.
Yeah, starting lineup here. Justin Brooks taking pole position with that 15.983 with Caleb Hall in second place, just over 16 seconds. Chris Horton in third with Blake Massengill in P4 here. Going into P5, it's Riley Music and finding the music in fifth place with sixth place being Nathan Rue. P7 here, Justin Crow, the hometown hero. We'll see if he can move his way forward with Daniel Folds in 8th place. P9, Cole Heward and Hunter Harriet in 10th place here.
And the remaining portion of our grid, we have Jake Grout in 11th with RJ Williams. He hit everything but the lottery last week at Myrtle Beach. You got Brent Meckes, you got Pops, as we like to call him, in 13th. Kyle Heaton there in 14th spot. Travis Suckup, the Daytona native, in 15th. And then Zach Onsen going to be rolling off outside of row number 8 in 16th. 17th spot, we have Steven Rex and then Tyler McRae in the 18th position. 19th and 20th, we'll find Bennett and Nestor. I think we got 6 more, I do believe.
Yeah, Jeff Williams and Mark Roy are bringing out that next row through. Going on P23, it's Jacob Witt, Jonathan Golden in 24th place, Kyle Tesseract in 25th, Wesley Whitfield in P26, and that is going to be our full lineup here as we go around on our pace laps here.
As we already went over our weather conditions here, our race details, nothing really of significance. I mean, stuff that we all know, and a bunch of zeros here. No sets of tires. Again, this is what I've been told, so I think it is still applicable. Open setups here, so these guys do have the ability to tweak and tune and have their own custom setups here, and this may come into play. No green-white checkers here within the series, so we will end within the actually 120 laps of race distance. But the lights are out on the pace car, so about a half mile more, and we are going to be pointing our hands to the sky there, Brad. Let's hope that this is a good one for us tonight.
Yeah, I think the first 2 laps are going to set the tone for this race. It's going to go one of 2 ways. First 2 laps will be 2 good, clean ones. We'll see some aggressive, good racing, or we're going to see someone Bennett in turn 1, lap 1 in traditional fashion, and that will be where we set things up. But we are green. We are underway. The iRacing car pulled off, and we are going to jump off that number 33 on the inside. Takes it off very well with the 9 on the outside, and they go through around side by side. So Brooks with Hall through 2x2 all the way around, and a little tap of the wall there, but as they enter turn 3, things are going to settle single file. You see a little bit further back here, guys are still holding it side by side here in these late model cars, and as we get through lap 1, Corey, it looks like most everyone's made it through. Yeah,
I don't see anything on the telemetry that says otherwise. Lap number 2 here on the board, you got the 42 and the 42 gonna door Massengill up the track there. 8 wheels is better than 4. Luckily, everything able to carry on just fine. Not something usually you see out of Horton there, but we'll see how things do shake out. The 01 gonna try to get himself down to the bottom. Music there to the inside. You have Justin Crow, the hometown boy, and the 29 of Cole Heward just behind him there. And there goes Music down and trying to make something happen. We know he kind of likes to get through the field quickly, and hopefully that can be without issue.
Yeah, Riley Music, a driver that can move his way through. Look at him up the inside of the number 42 there, Chris Horton, trying to find his way around. He's just ahead of him, and that outside line doesn't seem to be settling in for these guys here at Five Flags as they want it to, but now we get things around, and look at that up the inside. They're looking fairly good here, still side by side. The middle kind of can hold its own, but again, I still think that inside line is the preferred line here.
Yeah, the inside line definitely going to be the preferred line, maybe later in the race, as these guys are right up against that turn 2 wall. And just scrolling through the rest of the field, you can see a couple stragglers have fallen off the back of the pack, and somebody in the pits with a blown engine. That's going to be Kyle Nestor. How that happened without a yellow flag is absolutely flabbergasted, but we have the technology to see what happened. How did this happen without a caution flag?
That's a good question. I'm trying to watch. Really? There wasn't a caution for a car in the air?
The only thing I can think of is that cautions were turned off, or Barney was literally at the hot dog stand. One of the two. Because if cautions were turned off, they could be completely done by race control. So I do not know either way, but regardless, if you're a Nestor fan and a Mark Royer fan for that matter, you will be disappointed. But the 0-1 of Makeeng now is right to that rear deck lid of the 42 of Horton, and this is a very arduous situation. You know how easy it is to get one of these late model cars spun around here, as indeed here comes a caution, and it's going to be Pops Brent Mekas here in turn number 1.
Let's see this instant replay here of Brent Mekas going around. He's in the middle. He's your spotter lied to you, buddy. You were not clear outside. Yeah, his spotter lied.
We'll try to get a top-down perspective of this if we can here, and this should be a good one of sorts. That was the 09 car of Daniel Folds that was to the outside, 45 of Suckup, and yeah, he slowly crept his way up, bounced off of Suckup there. I just don't think the spotter made the call of 3 wide there, and unfortunately for Mekas, hard lick into that, well, not safer wall here, because we do not have that. We also don't have fast repairs, so that would be a terminal impact, most certainly for him here. But just taking a look at our chat. I think we do have admin in chat saying he has no control over it. I do believe it's the fog that admin is referring to in our chat here. So it would lead me to believe that there's some kind of dynamic weather situation, or the one thing that Tempest does do there. I almost called you Andre out of force of habit, Bradley, is that it does take into effort here the forecast of the geographic location of the track. And as we all know, Florida rains, and these races are set for a summer date. So as you know, in Florida, it rains basically every minute of the day, and the other minutes are perfect sunshine. So I guess it's kind of over assuming that it's going to rain here.
Yeah, which would make sense because it is Pensacola, so humid would make a lot of sense, but it's a little much. But I gotta wonder how it's affecting the handling of the cars. I haven't gotten a lot of short track experience since Tempest dropped, so I don't have a good handle on how the humidity affects the cars as much.
So Andre and I had that debacle a few weeks ago. We did learn, at least from an engine perspective, that more humidity will actually lead to more horsepower. So in terms of actual tire grip, I could not comment on that, but it will give these engines just a little bit more juice.
That's never a bad thing in late models. That's never a bad thing at all, honestly.
As long as you have the gear for it, anyways, because you don't want to go faster than the car is set up for. But yeah, certainly.
Yeah, that's true. We're 1 to green here. Everybody's coming back around, and the 33 and the 9, Brooks and Hall will line up side by side. Riley Music on the inside of the second row, and I gotta think, is Riley Music gonna try to make a dive up the inside very quickly?
I hope not, because I just don't want to see a wreck. I want to see a good, if it happens cleanly, let's see it. But I don't want to see a wreck, so let's get ourselves going. We had a good 10-lap run. Let's have some more green flag back in the air. 33 of Brooks gets the whole shot, and down into the corner there, Caleb Hall is registered as 140, but he is not 140. He is number 9 virtually, so we may make that mistake a few times over. But 29 car of Huard to the outside of Music here. I think they're all bounded up on the inside, so he's going to say, well, if you're bound up on the inside, well, I'll just try to use the outside here. And he's going to try to get to the outside and clear the 47, but I don't think that outside has enough mustard in it to do it.
Yeah, he's going to try to just find enough space here in that 47 of Riley Music. Has to be careful that it doesn't slide up there on Cole. And Cole around the outside there in that blue Chevrolet, which I kind of like, is going around and trying to hold on to it. And there we go, up the inside again comes Riley Music. So these two are going to hold side by side. It seems like anyone on the outside, typically in short tracks, you're going to expect that outside line to not be able to hold its own. But it looks like most everyone can. As you can see, anyone on the outside isn't really losing position. They're able able to kind of hold consistent, as long as they don't tap the outside wall on the back stretch, which has been a bad habit for them here lately.
See the sun there just masked out by the fog here at Five Flags, but I will say, as you were mentioning there, Brad, that outside lane is holding more serve than I would expect. Massengall there, almost you'd think if it was Daytona they'd be tag team in their tandem style. As close as he was there through the center of the corner, does fall back. Going a little bit further back, still have some racing to be had. That is Hunter Harriet there. Travis Suckup, he is trying to work his way up, and Travis Suckup, commentator's curse. Oh. He is wrecked. That's Zach Olson. He made contact. We're still not done wrecking.
That second wreck was really confusing. I don't see a reason for that second wreck to happen. The first wreck.
That's an ongoing issue we've had over the years here, over the months. But let's see what happened from the top down cam. Yeah, we'll have to watch that even once further, because that was confusing. And that was confusing too. So.
I'd have to go back and watch it again there and see it again.
Let me try to see the 5. I want to try to find the 5 car here, if I can find. That is Tyler McRae. We're going to go on board because this may answer some of our questions. There, suck up down to the bottom.
Yeah.
The 8. I mean, he didn't give the 8 room, but
why is he looking at that?
Yeah, let's go one more time because, well, we don't have anything else to do. We're on the yellow, so may as well investigate. We'll go from this camera because why not?
I just don't know why the 45 would block that in that situation. I mean, he's up and he just dropped.
Yeah. And then here's the part. All right, so they're wrecked. They're done.
And then it was like the 15 bounced up. Like, I don't know. That's a weird one. That's a very, very weird one there.
Yeah, that's probably the nicest way we could say it. I mean, as we've seen, the outside lane isn't a complete death sentence up there. So, as you said, I don't know, unless maybe it's the spotter, or maybe he thought if he pinched him down far enough that the guy to the inside there, I can't remember who it was offhand, but maybe he thought he would back off and relinquish the spot, which didn't happen. He did have a quarter panel on him. I would imagine the spotter at that point would have made the call because he was pretty much to the left rear tire. So. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that one, but Justin Brooks is still in the lead. Number 8 is. Wait, did they assign that to the 8?
Did they give the 8 an end of line penalty?
So the 8 did drop to the back. He was the one that was underneath the 45, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So, yeah. I mean, in my opinion, and I'm not, but you know, everyone, the thing with Rex is, I know on iRacing, people always say, why doesn't iRacing go with a fault system rather than an at-fault system? And I always say, well, because humans can't even agree on whose fault wrecks are. And this is an exact situation of that. We all see things differently, so I don't see it the way admin does, but you know, that's why we're all human. But let's go back here for the green flag. And that is Brooks on the loud pedal. He'll get us going. Barney's going to wave it. And he's going to accelerate off into turn number 1. That pseudo 9 140 car of Caleb Hall. He's going to have a high entry. He's going to cross over down to the inside. Slight wall tap there from Brooks. That'll curb his momentum slightly. But Hall down to the inside and trying to keep that car to the inside. But as he does that, curbs his momentum and falls back to second.
Yeah, Caleb Hall is trying to push really hard against Justin Brooks, get a move done, but Justin Brooks just able to find some momentum and get back up ahead. But for a moment, we were looking at a new leader. Farther back here, this is going to be the number 210. Here's the number 29. It is Cole Heward there with Justin Crow on the outside. Justin Crow trying to make that outside line work for him to keep things consistent against that teal blue number 29 Chevrolet. Well, it's more of a Miami blue, I'll give him that. And there we go, side by side, still maybe a little bit of door tapping. It's hard to tell from the angle, but as they go around, again, the outside line seems to be holding its own as they go through. I don't see anything that's really compromising that outside line, but look at how close they're getting here, riding on board with Chris Horton. Now we're going to jump on board with Blake Massengill, going around side by side, and Blake Massengill is just kind of riding the wave here. He needs to pick a lane and stick with it and see if he can't find a way forward as these two battle.
Yeah, remember we do have the dynamic iRacing track system in play here, so as one lane gets heated up more, it will lose a little bit of grip, so that will also facilitate that outside lane later in the affair here as we close in on later laps. And that is a little bit of a door tap to the back, or rather a little bit of a bumper tap from Rue to Williams there, but he let him recover. That's the adage there. If you're going to use the bump and run, don't dump him, and if you accidentally hit him, let him recover here. That is races etiquette. That is good racing. That is sportsmanlike racing there between the two of them.
Yeah, the bump and run can work, but you've just got to be professional about it and go through. And look at this. Now the number 29 wants to try to work that outside line. The 86 got ahead, Justin Crow there. And now Cole wants to try to work that outside line and make it work. But Blake Massengill seems to have his number here. I don't know. I think Cole doesn't have a good setup dialed in here. I mean, he's fast, don't get me wrong, but he just doesn't seem like he can kind of hold his own against these other cars when he gets into that side-by-side situation. He doesn't seem to have enough oomph in the car to get his way through, and maybe he's trying to prove me wrong here, but that's just my observation. As I said that, he's going to work his way up ahead of Chris Horton and possibly try to take it 3 wide.
Yeah, we don't have PJ1 up here, Cole, so they ain't going to find too much grip up there, but you know, what do we know? We're just in the booth. We don't drive these vehicles on a regular basis here. But coming off, now we're 36 laps into the race. If this goes green, 20 minutes of racing left, so that just shows how fast these lap times fly when we're going about 16, 17 seconds around here. We have already dropped about a half second off the pace here, but remember, we do not have, to my knowledge anyways, a set of tires in the pits if the necessity does come up. But look at the 86. He drove there from the outside lane, cut off Massengill, got right to the inside and fit in a small hole behind Chris Horton there. Now Horton opens up the inside and he's going to try to get around that 29, but that 29 probably as strong on the outside as anybody we've seen.
Yeah, the 29 seems very comfortable on that outside line, trying to hold his own there. He's side by side with the 42 as we come around down the backstretch. And look at him here through turn 3 and 4. Again, still, he's right door to door with him. They get a little swirly. And again, that no tire is going to start playing out long term. So later in the race, it's where you're really going to see the effects of these guys that are pushing hard versus the guys saving tires. If I'm the 42 there, if I am Chris Horton, I'm letting the 29 go right now. And I'm going to be just focusing on a little bit of tire conservation, just making it through. Come on, guys, keep it clean.
Horton got a little bit slideways there off of 4, and that just makes you worry when there's a car to the outside lane there, but these guys will continue on and battle. And I am scrolling through. We see a little bit of side-by-side. A little further back, want to get everybody a little attention here on the broadcast. We got Jeff Williams in that 99, and that's Jonathan Golden, who I just found out drives in our AMS series on Tuesdays. He's double duty here on the channel. He's racing here in eCar. And Kyle Tursak, he is usually a little bit higher up. He's back there in the 15 spot. Just behind, you have the 8 of Hunter Harriet. They remember he was involved, well, he was assigned fault in that wreck, trying to work his way through the field here. And got to be careful doing that because you don't want to get in a perpetual loop of getting in problems, but he is managing to keep off that 15 car.
Yeah, he's keeping off the 15. He's trying to send it up the inside here around that number 99 and find his way forward. And look at this. Oh, 3 wide right there with a 99, a 15, and a 99 as we go through. Oh, there's a bump.
Jeff Williams gets the short end of the stick there. He goes all the way, loses about 4 spots. We got some activity going on up front. Riley Music, he is showing a little bit more speed here towards the middle of this stint. He is still trying to get by that number 29. That 29 is the Ryan Newman of the series here. Captain hard to pass. And, you know, every driver has a patience meter, Brad, and every time you get in a battle like this that never ends, that patience meter goes lower and lower and lower. And let's be frank, some of these guys, their patience tolerance is lower than others. So you don't want to be impatient here, and you don't want to get riled up. Just as I say that, someone got riled up because we're under caution.
Yeah, I thought I saw someone on the high line of 2 there. I was gonna say that race car drivers have the memory of elephants and have the patience
Oh, there we
of a
go. That's
mouse.
Stephen
And
Rex.
what happened to Rex there? What happened to the torpedo car?
Oh, so this is a long duration wreck, evidently. So he is crab walking right now.
Interesting that he's even on track.
And he hit the pit wall.
So did he do something before that to have a rear suspension failure, I guess?
Evidently, nothing that overly describes my software here. But it doesn't, give me any triggers of anything that happened. So obviously something happened at some point where, I mean, I'll give him credit. He did something. What does that say on the back of his car? Deny me, don't cheat. Deny me, don't cheat me. Is that what it says? Now I'm curious.
I have no idea what that says, honestly.
Beat me, don't cheat me. Well, I don't have jokes today, so sorry for those who look forward to my puns, but I don't have any today. Firmware was corrupt on installation this morning, so we don't got one.
I gotta tell you, I have to give him props for driving that car like a car of tomorrow, though. I mean, see the way that thing was crabbing 30 degrees to the side? Like,
yeah,
he's holding on to it.
Yeah, Sam Hornish Jr., he was the one that, I remember it was the All-Star Open, and they were the most egregious ones to pull off that setup. And once they did that, everyone started doing it, and then NASCAR finally outlawed how much, well, they put a rule in for how much you can yaw out that car. So interesting little tidbits of information, but as we sprinkle in other tidbits of information, I do want to go over the remaining schedule, or at least the upcoming weeks here. So after tonight's race, we will be headed to the one and only road course race of the season, Watkins Glen International, for a double points race, 30 laps there at the Glen. We will be running the Cup configuration if memory does serve, so these late models will be pushed to their limits, both in terms of horsepower and ability there.
I really like Watkins Glen. I know people hate road courses with late models, stock cars, NASCAR. I love Watkins Glen. I think it's a good track. And I think it's going to produce some really exciting racing. As we're 1 to green here, look at how high the number 9/140 is there, all the way up on the marbles.
Yeah, the marbles don't have quite the effect as one would infer in the real world. So, but it'd be better not to be in them if possible there. But he will get those tires cleaned off and be ready for the restart into the restart zone. And I'll tell you, that was one of the better restarts from the outside that I think I've seen in quite some time. But that 29, usually he's on the outside. He's now on the inside lane. Music trying to get it to the outside of the 29, but the 9 will manage to fill in the gap, get in that second spot, 9/ number 140. But here comes Music to the outside of Horton there. And the first time we've seen that 47 off the inside lane here.
Yeah, Horton here's a who up the inside line, and it's him up the inside line.
Oh, contact.
To clear up the 47. Contact in the background. No caution.
Oh,
Stay
no.
Never mind. There goes
He saved it. Let's see if he can still save it.
And no caution still. There we go. Keep it green. 47 held on to it. Riley Music down into 8th place. Now let's check out a replay of this. Look at this. 42 tries to clear back to back, side by side. There we go. A little bit of 3 wide, almost, maybe. And the 1 slides up. 47 holds on. Look at that. He just bumps him back straight.
Yeah, he had the wherewithal. He's like, I got you sideways, but I have the decency to at least help you out.
Man, that's polite of him to do. And no caution, no harm, no foul. I mean, I'll tell you right now, Riley Music's going to be a little bit annoyed by that. But, hey, we're going to keep going here. 21's up the inside. Watch that front end as they come around. There's the number. Oh, man. I was just going to say watch out, and caution is out.
And he saved it, to my knowledge. I don't think that was actually a wreck. It was a pretty good loop-de-loop job, I will say so. We'll go to the chopper cam here, or the blip cam, I think technically it is. Little loose. And that's the 8 again. Remember, the 8 was the one who had the issue earlier. Now, I just want to do one, because this is a similar situation here that we saw last time, and I'm just trying to get the perfect angle here. So let's find the point of contact here. The point of contact is right here. So this is where Corey puts on his hat, which I did take off because it was getting a little sore on my head, but why is he not right here? Why is he in that second lane, basically giving the 8 almost no opportunity to make the corner? Or to get off the corner.
He's trying to pinch the 8 a little bit, but also you got to look at the 8 comes up off the corner. He comes up into the 21. So
let's get one more look at it here. Our Judge Judy finale here. But he came up, but I mean, again, there's no rule that you have to be in a certain place. But from my perspective, the 8 would have assumed that RJ would have been in a more traditional line closer to the wall, and that would have been room that it would have given the 8 clearance to use, but that assumption didn't play out and ultimately caused the wreck there. So, and the 8/81 being assigned for that, which I guess I do agree with if I had to pick somebody, but I would highly question the other side of it as well.
Yeah, I think this is a case of 6 one way, half a dozen the other. You can kind of argue this either way you want to go, and again, you said it earlier, humans don't agree on who's at fault with things, so we can kind of kick it back and forth and debate it. Ultimately, race control's got to assign it to someone, though, I guess, or you can call it no fault, but I don't know if you could.
Yeah, that argument just came up on the iRacing forums. That's why that topic kind of came back into my mind there, where someone's like, why is it I got hit from behind and lost some safety rating, I needed it back, that's not fair. And then you put the replay up and you've got 100 comments and they're split 50-50. And it's like, how do you expect an algorithm to figure that out if humans are 50-50? Because someone has to program that algorithm, and that person's bias is going into that algorithm, so you're still going to be mad. So at the end of the day, when there's racers that wreck, there's going to be happy, there's going to be mad. It just comes with the territory of motorsports.
Yeah, no, if everyone's happy at the end of a race, then it was the most boring race of your life. We're over halfway through here. We're 2 corners to green. The iRacing safety car is going to peel off here. Corey, I tell you what, it's been a fairly good race. A couple crazy moments, but overall we're through. 33, Justin Brooks on the inside, Caleb Hall on the outside there, and that number 9/140. And look who's in row 2 on the inside. It is Mr. Cole Heard. As we go around, we're back going. And I tell you what, everybody's through, and they're trying to take it back single file. I think at this point, everybody's tires are starting to feel it a bit, so everyone is just trying to make sure they have grip to the end.
Yeah, Nathan Rue, it feels like he's made a comeback, but he hasn't. He's still -1 on the day, but he dropped a little bit right off the get-go and has himself here back in the mix here towards the latter half of the race. Chris Horton stuck to the outside. He's going to have a whisker of opportunity to get to the inside, and he will do just that. Has to drive it in deep to stay in front of the guy behind, but not deep enough to run into the back bumper of Blake Massengill there. Quite the thread the needle trick there, but managed to pull it off successfully. Going a little bit further back, you have Kyle Tursak and Kyle Heaton. The Kyle and Kyle show dooring each other, bumping, banging, wall contact there, but everybody so far comes out on the other side of it.
Yeah, and there we go. They're still side by side as we exit the corner. They're holding on to it, but it does look like the 99 is going to slot back in. Try to go single file and get a run here, because really what he wants to try to do is pass on the inside. But also look at all the cars ahead of him. If he's looking up and looking ahead, he may just be trying to settle in for a moment, because some of these guys are starting to look swirly as we hit lap 67, almost lap 68 of 120.
Yeah, working our way here through, again, the second half of today's race and our race recap. We are 4 cautions into the race, which is not bad, especially comparative to last week. And I'm not mad yet, so we'll take that as a positive, because that wasn't the case last week. In our fast lap of the race, Justin Brooks at a 16.372.
Yeah, nobody stopped in the middle of the track on pit exit, so I think compared to last week, we're having a relatively good weekend. So Justin Brooks out by almost half a second in the lead to Caleb Hall, and I think Justin Brooks has been keeping a little bit in the tank, or maybe it's just that Caleb Hall is under attack right now by Blake Massengill. Oh, who was that snapping low? Was that Blake Massengill that I saw take a hard swerve there?
Yeah, he has some heavy-duty damage to the right front of that car there, so The wall in that 01 not making of friends there, but he will try and hopefully, in his sake, there's not any suspension damage there. But he's seeming to hang on just fine for the time being, so maybe that is just a little bit of cosmetic damage to that 01. As you have Nathan Rue, again, he was 7th. Now he's up to 6th, and he's trying to get 5th now. That 3 car, watch out.
Yeah, the Harley Davidson number 3 looks very fast, and look at him, he's blocking off Riley Music. Riley Music trying to take a look up the inside. A little bit of a checkup, it looks like, the 29 into the wall there, a little bit of Cole, and now here we go. This is going to be the opportunity Nathan Rue needs to look for if he can try to keep it moving. He's going to hold that inside line, he's going to pin Cole high, and here we go up the inside, around side by side, and as we exit turn 4, he's just a little bit ahead here, and he's going to keep Cole here pinned high. As we come around again, it seems like turn 1 and 2, the high line gets a little bit more of a run, but 3 and 4 is really where he can make his move if he can make this stick. And look at this, he's just trying to play the game and get it through. He's trying to edge this forward little by little, and maybe if he can try to slide up the inside of Blake Massonville in the mix, he will. Yeah, I think he is going to have the opportunity to, but again, this is where the racer's respect comes in. He knew it was close. He probably could have forced it, but he's playing nice, and I'll tell you, that 29 is running a really tight line on him. He's not giving a lot of space, and Nathan Rue, well, he races with respect, but if you push the respect too far, apparently he will kind of push you out of the groove there. Again, that kind of short track racing, I'm not mad at. He got pinched. He said, you pinch me, well, look what happens, and then I'm just going to wreck somebody. I don't think he wrecked him. We'll have to look at the replay, but, well, he did wreck him, but the malice, I'm not throwing malice in that. We'll take a look at the replay, and we'll see what happened. But we'll go back actually all the way, and I want to see that battle again right there with the 3 and the 29, because they were hooked up there side by side. I mean, beating and banging. Let's go back. All right, so here's through 3 and 4. Yeah, he was really pinching him there. Hurd was really pinching Rue, so Rue just kind of said, you can go not be near me right now. And then the 29, now let's take a look here towards the 5. He tries to stick a front end. All right, let's like that rewind sound. All right, is that space? No, you know that door is going to shut. You know that space isn't going to be there, so why would you even try to stick a nose around the outside? Maybe he had a pen and he wanted to write his name. That's just the one Taylor Swift joke I use over and over again. So I like it. Now, there was something that I was kind of getting at, but now we've lost that train of thought. But let's just kind of do a little race summary here. Oh, actually, no, I know what I was getting at. We haven't been talking much about the 33, and that's because he has dominated this race. And I don't think we've had a lead change. Let's see if the perfect race is still intact. Yeah, we're on lap, so the perfect race is still intact. We're 79 laps in, on lap 80, so 40 more to go. I mean, it's very rare in motorsport, kind of more common in short track racing, but getting the perfect race is always something that a driver will try to accomplish here in their racing careers. Yeah, if you can pull it off, it's very much worth it to pull off. If you can, is the key. Yeah, hasn't happened in top tier NASCAR motorsport since I think 2000 when Jeff Burton did it at New Hampshire, and I'm sure it's happened many times, but typically once you get over 100 laps, you have a bunch of caution cycles, it becomes less and less likely. But this is basically a game of restarts, and he has the setup, he has the car, he has the track position. What we are waiting to see is, does he have the ultra long haul pace to be able to, you know, get to 120? Is his tire going to fall off a cliff? Can Hall or Horton, who a lot of time plays the closer and comes in at the very end, can this work out? And ultimately, you know, if we get cautions with 10-20 to go, we hate to say it, but it's on the table. Does something egregious happen? Yeah, this is the moment where we're really going to see the driver's mindset here. Justin Brooks on the inside for this race restart. Can he get a jump on Caleb Hall again, as they will be going through a round, coming out of the back stretch? And here we go. But again, I'm still watching for Blake or Chris Horton. I'm assuming one of them. are going to get a run. Look at how close they're staying there. They are thinking about it. And as we go back, green flag running here we go. Justin Brooks, you need to get a run going, and he gets it. He gets into one ahead, which is what he needs to do, and now he's got to defend it.
Oh, I thought the crossover was going to work there for Hall. He tried to do the high-low move, which is probably the best chance he has. Oh, right to the rear bumper. We know how difficult these cars are to bump. You can get them off the air really, really easily, get them off the ground. He got a whisker to that back bumper. He got a little bit of a look off a two, falls back in line, but I'll tell you, really was nervous he was going to ramp that number 33 car.
He was thinking about it. I'll tell you right now, he's thinking about it. He's wondering what he can do to get around, and he's debating all of his options here as we go through. He's holding on though. Caleb Hall is there in second place, but look behind him. He knows he's got Chris Horton and Blake Massengill who want to try to get up in the mix as well. And look at that, Nathan Rue, the 3, trying to make a run up to the front here. That Harley Davidson number 3 up the inside of the Blake Massengill in the 01. Can he make it stick though is the question, because if he can, that puts him up into P4.
Oh, connectivity issues there. That's always scary.
Probably not the best time to be having that issue, is it, Corey?
And then you have Justin Crow there in the number 86. Again, just trying to figure out what line is going to persevere. Do I see an opportunity to the outside to pinch the 3 down and maybe get around the long way? Or do I think the 3 is going to persevere on the inside, and do I follow him there? Because at this point, he's like, I want to go somewhere. And short of going 3 wide, I ain't got nowhere to go. Looks like he's going to take a look on the outside here, maybe get Rue pinched down here, but for Rue, he's going to try and send it on further in, and let's go 3 wide, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to do something to try to get around these two, because they're just clogging up the highway for all the cars ahead to get out. You look at that, the top 3 are separated by just a couple tenths, and then you've got almost a second back now to Blake Massengill and Nathan Rue as they battle. It's going to continue to just open up that field and open up that gap to the top 3. So if they don't make a move soon, it's going to just spell disaster, and everybody's going to be stuck, because we're 30 to go here, and you don't have a lot of time here on a 16-second lap to make it around.
Now, Jonathan Golden may have had an issue here. Not may, he did. Let's take a look at his replay here. That's the 51. He got into the back. That's Zach Onsen there. I think he overreacted to try to stay off of the 51, and that actually put him at a detrimental position. So he'll still be on the lead lap, but far off the pace there. Music to the inside of Justin Crow there, and Jacob Witt. I don't think I mentioned his name here once tonight. He is trying to figure out where to go. Nearly went into the back of the 47, and he checked him up, and here comes RJ trying to recover after a penalty at some point in the race. He's down to the inside. This is back of the top 10.
Yeah, RJ's trying to have a look here up the inside on Jacob Witt, and it seems like he may be close.
No, I think that's his third. That time we cannot absolve fault there. That is about the third time I think that number 81 car has had an issue tonight, and I'm pretty sure he either got removed or he has already departed on his own accord here.
Yeah, look at this replay here up the inside. I mean, everyone's side by side there, and he just goes through. I mean, they're 2 by 2 ahead. You know you don't have a lot of room. Again, he sets at the inside.
That's just no spatial awareness right there. Well, let's give him, and then we're still wrecking well after the wreck. That's the part that we still haven't figured out in this series for over a year. And yeah, we'll get the well, let's give benefit of the doubt before we completely go nutso here. This is Zach Onsen. He was the one that made that contact to the outside after the fact. All right, so slow up. I guess he went with the logic of, if I go faster around them, then I will get around them before they get into my trajectory, which does work in some situations, but at a short track, typically going slower is going to get you around a wreck more safely and more often than not than faster. I can understand at Texas, at Dover, sometimes you want to speed by a wreck because they might, reverse direction, but at a short track, 97% of the time, slowing down is going to be more beneficial than plowing through it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna read this from YouTube chat.
And this is Andre, by the way.
Yeah, Andre says it best. Why did he stop in the middle of the track after he spun him?
as his last line in chat that's baffling, and you know.
Yeah, I don't. I'm gonna opt to not get myself called to race control tonight.
No, I mean, if anybody does, it's going to be me. So you are more than clear. So again, we call this race with our own personal opinion, and we call it with our own biases because that's just what we do. We're not, you know, prance around the prairie commentators here. We're not going to make everyone, you know, on the good side. We're not going to make everybody, you know, we're not going to be optimistic all the time if it's not warranted. If we see it, we're going to say it, whether you want to hear it or not. That's the PTRTV way.
Hey, it's why you love us, right? 1 degree.
We're not Coke. We're not Coke, and we never will be. So, but yeah, 1 to green. We're going to come to 20 laps to go. Remember, no green, white checkers, so we do kind of have a cap here of how many cautions we can have before this thing would be inevitably behind the pace car here. But the green flag back in the air. The perfect race still on the table. Actually, that was a pretty tight run to the checkers there for that lap. But I think Brooks still has it. But looking to the outside here, Caleb Hall to the outside. Perfect race. I think we're wrecking.
I saw something in the background. I don't see a caution flag out yet, so I think we're okay. Brooks maybe getting the wrist crossover to the inside. Caleb Hall, here we go. Bring it up the inside and around. Can he make this inside line work, though, for him? It's been hard all day to get past Justin Brooks. Justin Brooks has been able to move this beautifully, but Caleb Hall is go! Everybody gets loose. Everybody's still running, but look to the outside. Blake Maston and a caution.
Oh, what?
Oh, they're wrecking.
Why do we have a car sideways? Like, literally sideways.
You know? Well, first off, it's a Tennessee liveried car, and I'm just going to say probably deserves it just for the livery alone.
Oh, my goodness. Well, you know what? Who's going to have the best view of this one? Barney.
Yeah, Barney. Show me what happened here, buddy.
Anytime. There we go.
They come around, the leaders get
54.
Loose.
So now we know the stem of it. The 54 got turned. That was Jacob Witt. And then, again, as I was telling you in pre-race there, Bradley, that this track is just, it is narrow. So when something happens, there's not a lot of room on that front straightaway to evade. 29 and the 54, that is where it stemmed from. And then everybody else, I mean, you just can't react. I'll give benefit of the doubt. But let's go from the top down, Cam, and solve the mystery of whose fault is it?
I think the 54 came down on the 29. I'm gonna go ahead and make that step. Look at him. He's high. He's cutting low. He's cut. Where was he going?
And I talk to Jacob Witt frequently, so yeah. I'll have to talk to him after this. So he was going down the hill there and trying to get maybe that crossover on Riley, but yeah, car low, Broseph. So that was the big one, and perfect race. Let's just make sure. So we'll gotta do basic math here. The perfect race still intact, although it was very, very nearly not, but perfect race still intact for that number 33, as I believe we have 9 drivers who have not pitted in this race. So really the top 9 have been the ones who have had the least amount of issues. We do know RJ in that 210 car /21 had some issues earlier, had to go to the back, but no real damage amounted from it. But really 9th on back, they have spent some time in the pits repairing, you know, and just trying to make those cars as viable as possible.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you're going to run late models, you've got to be prepared for a little bit of damage, for some beating, for some banging. You've got to be prepared to drive a not perfect race car, because that is just the nature of late models. We're 1 to green yet again with 16 laps to go here. Perfect race is still there.
Perfect race is still there, and he will keep trying, but I'll tell you that Caleb Hall to the outside, he was getting some really good restarts, and he knows how to work that outside. The 33 is going to put a lot of emphasis on this restart, which he did very successfully. He got a huge jump here, and that 01 of Massengel is going to go to the inside of Caleb. He bounced off the apron there, nearly into the outside of Caleb there, entering the corner, and we got a whole gaggle here just behind with Music and Williams and Rue.
Yeah, everybody is just trying to jockey for position here. It's 14 to go. Everybody knows it's crunch time as they go around. And that number 3 of Nathan Rue is still impressing me continually as he goes through. Look at this. He's going to rue the day if he can get the high line there and cut off that number 210 of RJ Williams. He does there, and further up the field, keep watching through of Massengel.
Oh, no, don't block him again. Don't block him again.
No. There we go. Riley Music wanted to stick a nose up the inside, and RJ was going to run him all the way down. The 15, look at him. He's going to try to dive low. Riley Music's going to give him the room, and Kyle Tesseract is up through, and now what can he do to get past Riley Music here? Is they're side by side.
Oh, they're going to make contact. They're going to make contact. They're going to make contact, and they kept it off the wall, but where's the patience meter on that number 47? Admittedly, I think he has right for it to be low here, given what he's been dealing with here on the evening. Going to go back to the inside of that 15 and try to make something happen here. Again, he got a little bit roughed up, but admittedly, he did a lot of roughing up last week, so may just be a little bit of karma there, but thus far has kept himself out of most issues here tonight. He'll go side by side, and he's going to go full yeet into the corner here, and let's see if a crossover comes into play. Yes, it does.
Yeah, crossovers are very, very beneficial here. It seems. They're banging. They're locked together. They're locked together, and they come loose there. iRacing netcode trying to play a little bit of the game. It's 15 in the fourth.
Can't see through the Florida wildfires, as someone said in our chat.
You can see enough here. That number 47 is a light enough color. You can see it. Man, every time I think one of them has a run, the other one cuts back through. This is just back and forth all the way to the line. 8 laps to go here. Another little door bang. I mean, I don't know what more you can do at this point to try to get around someone.
I'm just waiting for this to go astray, and they're trying. Oh, there it goes.
You mean like that?
Yeah, literally called it to the tee there, but they don't wreck. Tursak has probably got some kind of toe damage there. He is cruising around the top, but going back to the front, the perfect race still intact, I do believe, and he's up by almost a half second. Is Brooks over Hall? You got Horton there a little bit further back. Rue working on Massengel there, and again, that still no caution from. Oh, there it is, and that should end the race as well, because we do not have green-white checkers. So let's see what happened here. Well, so Tursa, so we got 2 cars just putting around here.
Were they waiting for each other? Because now they're up to speed.
Well, that's the 88. I don't know who the 88 is, because I don't think we have an 88. So the 88, yeah, that's just using everything in my system here to not curse. Who is that number 88 car? I'm trying so hard to figure it out.
Yeah, I want to know.
I know you don't have the telemetry up here today, but
you're fine.
Now, who is that? I don't have. There's no 88 here in Sim, so that's an off-numbered car. But something led to that, and again, that's just. I've never said dropped an F-bomb on this channel. That's just effing stupid.
I mean, like, it's one thing if.
But can we say this? I didn't get mad. This was actually kind of fun to watch tonight. And I thought I would go this whole broadcast without getting mad. But we got to 3 laps to go. But I'm mad.
I want to know what that solves as a driver. Like, in your head, what does that do to spin someone out like that? Like, you're 5 laps to the end of the race. Just let it go and yell at each other and chat about each other's moms. Like, we're grown adults.
Are we yelling at each other's moms? What's going on?
Yeah, yell about each other's moms. I mean, like, why are we? I don't like.
I have nothing to say to that one. It's race over. Golly.
Your mama's so fat she jumped in the air and got stuck. There's a your mama joke for you. But one lap to go, and let's just pull up the graphic here. Does it say? Yep, this is the perfect race as long as he can make it around one more time. And I'm still trying to figure out who Cody Bodie is in chat. So I don't know who it is. I'm supposed to know, evidently, but I don't know. So apologies for that. But Justin Brooks, he had some really close calls here. I thought, even for a whisker for one lap, Caleb Hall was going to sneak one by, but he got the restarts. He held off on the inside. He held off on the outside, and the perfect race in the books. And Justin Brooks is going to pull it off. Brooks gets the perfect race in the books. And call the National Guard because this wildfire is getting worse.
I mean, I don't even know what you... I
don't know who that 88 is. There's no 88 in sim, as you can see on our telemetry, so it's a mismatched car, so I'd have to go one by one and try to find it. Maybe I will. But that's the same crap we saw last week. And I don't want to take that away from the guys who drove a good race. We saw good, hard-nosed, short-track racing here from a lot of guys. We did not see dumb racing from a lot of guys. And I want to, I tried to make sure that I gave praise when I saw great racing. Brooks and Hall. You have Horton, Nathan Rue. Guys who drove with the utmost respect. And, I want to give praise to those guys, particularly that number 33 who just spanked him here today, but he's doing his Polish victory lap, burnout, donuts, all that fun stuff. And while he does that, let's go and give you the final rundown of results here today from the 5 Flag Speedway, because Bradley and I both have to hop on actually, no, we're going to Sebring here tonight, so luckily we don't have to go that far. But either way, our race results here on the evening as follows. Justin Brooks gets the win. All the telemetry data does not matter because it was under yellow. Caleb Hall with a second. Chris Horton in third. Massengill with a fourth. Rue in fifth. RJ Williams in sixth. Riley Music in seventh. Onsen, McRae, and Suckup rounding out our top 10.
Yeah, moving on from that P10, P11, Cameron Bennett, Mark Royer, and P12, Jeff Williams, Kyle Tershak, Jake Groot, Jonathan Golden, Steven Rex, Justin Crow, Jacob Witt, and Cole Heward in P20.
Cody Bodie, please just tell us who you are. We don't want to play games. I need to know. Kyle Heaton gets 21st. Hunter Harriet, he was, again, he hit everything but the lottery here today in 22nd. Kyle Nestor in 23rd. We have Daniel Fold 24th, Brent Meck is 25th, and then Whitfield never took a time here tonight. So let's head to get these guys in our post-race show, have a couple words with them if we can. I'll try to go ahead and cue them up here and get them on screen, but let's go ahead and get, not Chris Horton. All right, Justin Brooks, you got something that every racer strives to get at some point in their career. You got yourself the perfect race here from the pole at every single of these 120 laps, man. But it wasn't easy. Caleb made you work on a couple of those restarts. What was that like from the driver's seat?
I mean, it was a lot of fun. I wasn't worried about him running me dirty or anything. I've run against him enough. He's a good buddy of mine, and I knew he was going to make me work, basically earn it, work for it, and that's what I did. And the few laps that we did go, we were certainly going, I don't know the term to describe it, balls to the wall, I guess you could say. It was a lot of fun, and there at the end, we were just driving the crap out of it. And like I said, it was just a lot of fun. I've always had a lot of fun racing against him, racing with a lot of respect. He raced me a lot of respect. It's always a lot of fun.
It's always good when you can, you can lean on someone and you can pinch them and you know that they're not going to wreck you. And if they hit you, they're going to give you that room to save it. So overall, what was we saw the top work mainly for holding people off, not so much for passing, but obviously that inside was where you wanted to be. Overall, where did that number 33 drive best tonight?
Oh, it was really good in 1 and 2. I was honest. I should have put I told myself before the race I should add some wrap front packer to it, but I never did. And it was honestly hurting me there some at the end. I could have been, I feel like, another half a tenth a lap faster if I would have put some packer in it, because I was slamming the track in turn 3 all the way to the center of the corner. But besides that, it drove almost flawless. Like, I could put it anywhere it wanted to go and it would go.
Well, it drove well for you. Well, next week, man, this series is headed to Watkins Glen. Are we going to see a turn of the twists and turns of a road course next week?
To be completely honest with you, I'm not sure. I wasn't even planning to run this race. I mean, some people know out there, but my mom just passed away 2 weeks ago, and I had been taking a break from this from the last few weeks, and literally today was the first time I've been on here more than 20 minutes because a few of the guys were talking about racing 5 flags tonight, and I figured I'd just get on and actually get off the couch and do something. So we'll see. I mean, it all depends on mood and everything, Dan. Again, you know, just got a lot going on, so it all really depends. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, God bless you, man. I've never dealt with that, but I can imagine how difficult it is. So getting back to normality sometimes is the best way to grieve, but I'm sure Mom is happy that you're doing something good.
Yes, sir, and thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll catch you, man. And now Bradley has caught up with second place, Caleb Hall.
Caleb Hall, P2, tried to break the perfect run from Justin Brooks in the end. A caution catches you out. Kind of talk to me about your race a little bit, man.
Man, he got lucky. Nah, I'm just kidding. I had fun, man. Me and Brooks always run that close to each other, and we always battle hard. He talked me into changing sway bar before the race, and I did add the click and packer, but it wasn't enough. So I started hitting the ground earlier than he did, but I was happy. Me and Brooks are really good friends. We bounce a bunch of ideas off of each other, and whether it's an official or SARA or even in this, our cars are pretty close. I was very happy. I think I got home from the bar and they said if I wanted to race I could come on, and then I joined in here and I built something. Me and Brooks compared it, and they didn't have anything else for us.
Yeah, it was a very, very hard run between you and Brooks, just basically running off on the field and getting things set up. Was there anything you were thinking of doing to try to get a pass on him? You know, there were several moments where it looked like you were able to make that switch work and almost get by him, and then he just kind of edge you out again on the corner exit.
You know, I think the reason why I couldn't do anything on the short run is because we ran 2 different gears. And I went with the, I guess technically less ratio, more RPM, because I figured we'd get a long run. You know, Riley, he runs my stuff, and I built all of his setups, and he runs his stuff religiously. And I asked him, and Chris, I asked him if, you know, what can these things do, and they told me we're either going to be pacing the whole time or it's going to run green for a long time. So I went with that risk of it going a long time, and that one time I got a good restart with Brooks and I was on the outside. I couldn't do anything because when I was on the top, it was just, at that point I was chipping too much and he was just able to roll the bottom better than me.
Yeah, looking ahead here to next week, Caleb. Watkins Glen is next week. How do you feel about a road course in these cars?
Well, this might sound very weird, but I already have a setup for that place because me and a good buddy of mine, his name's Jackson Crowder, we'll get on here and we'll just mess around sometimes. And we went there one night, and I don't know why we took it serious, but we got it pretty good. Feels like a road course car, so I don't know, it should be fun. I'll probably show up. It all depends on if Riley needs a lot of help or not, because I know he's going for this championship deal, and I'm full force behind him. I have a lot of faith in that kid. Chris Horton as well. I feel like we brought some pretty stout cars tonight. I know Riley didn't have the race that he wanted to. He had a few things going back there, but Watkins Glen should be fun.
Awesome, Caleb. I appreciate your time, and we'll see you next week. Okay, man?
All right, thank y'all.
All right, and Corey, I think you caught up for a quick chat with Chris Horton, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, we're a little short on time, but still want to have a word with our third place driver, Chris Horton. Well, you kind of got the win last week when the seas parted, but tonight those top two just had a different gear in there. What was that 42 missing that 33 in that car of Caleb had?
We were just a little too tight there at the end. I mean, I think we're still pretty close to him. We just needed a couple of those restarts to go my way, a little bit better than what they did, but I think we did a good job. I mean, those two are the best on the sim right now, so it's always nice to be able to compete with those two.
Yeah, and you put up a good fight, and we saw you on the outside various times, and on the inside, it seems like either lane could really battle. Of course, it seemed like you wanted to be on the inside overall, but what was it like battling on the outside? You were in packs, crossing over and all that fun stuff. You were in the heat of it. What was that like tonight?
I mean, it was pretty fun. I mean, I just was a little too tight on the outside. The car would hit the track super hard up there for whatever reason, but the inside was a lot better for me. And we got the pass on Makeeng running the bottom there. I don't think if I was on the top, I don't think we would have got back by him. But had a really good race, good setup, and get on to next week.
Yeah, next week is the road course. Of course, you were here last season, so it's not going to be new for you. I can't remember how you fared last time, but what's your confidence level heading back into the one road course on the schedule next week?
I mean, I'm pretty confident. I think we'll probably run just as good as we did there last season, but actually finish where we should have. So hopefully we go in there and be fast and maybe get the win there too.
All right, man. Well, we'll see what you can do. The point's looking good, and another good run to solidify that. So we'll talk to you soon.
All right, see you.
All right. Well, that was a broadcast here, and like I said, I made it 95% of the way, and I didn't get mad. Bradley, what's your take on this one after what we saw last week?
I mean, it's better than last week, but those last few laps. But overall, good race. And next week at Watkins Glen is going to be interesting. I would definitely tune in next week for some road course action. It's just going to be something different.
It'll be something different indeed. But Bradley and myself have to, I guess, take the some kind of flight down to Sebring for the Red Sox Racing League. That goes live in about a half hour on the channel. Make sure you like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. Stay tuned for the Red Sox Racing League, and then we'll be back next week with the SSRL AMS series and some more of what you see here. That's Corey and Bradley signing out of the booth. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.